Hello everyone! Have you ever sat around a campfire and felt the wind's whispers wrap around you? Have you ever wondered if the shadows moving among the lost trees are watching you? Or perhaps you've glimpsed your own reflection in the mist rising from the lake and thought it might be speaking back? Tonight I'll take you to the abandoned Pine Ridge camp, set deep in the forest under a starless sky. If you dare ask yourself, which is more terrifying? Hearing your footsteps in the dark, or not hearing them at all? Could that distant whisper be a friendly invitation, or a deadly trap? Type ready in the comments to share your heartbeat with us. And don't forget, we're aiming for 500 subscribers. Subscribing is completely free, so hit that button now and never miss a new story. Emily, Sarah, James, and I, Ethan, turned off the main road just before dusk. The tall pines towered overhead, their needles carpeting the path in a soft, crackling hush with every step. A chill breeze slithered through the trunks, sending a shiver down our spines as we made our way to set up camp. As we pitched our tents, Emily whispered, "It feels like something is watching us." Our flashlights cut through the creeping fog, only to vanish into the swirling gray, leaving behind distorted silhouettes dancing between the trees. When we lit the campfire, the flames cast jittering shadows that seemed to reshape the woods around us. The next morning, James unfolded an old paper map and froze. "These trail markers, they're not on this map," he said, voice shaking. I pulled out the compass and watched its needle spin wildly, as if it refused to acknowledge true north. When our guides fail us, we realize how vulnerable we really are. Tucked into a corner of the map, we discovered a faded note in someone's handwriting. "Remember Isla. She is still here." A chill gripped my heart. This note was our first real clue that we were not alone, and that someone had been watching us long before we arrived. Later that afternoon, we headed to the lake to refill our water canisters. The fog lay thick on the surface, distorting our flashlight beams into ghostly arcs. As I knelt at the edge, I heard a soft click echo through the trees. Emily peered into the mist and said, "It's like something is tapping the water's surface." Returning with our buckets, we found a half-buried key inscribed with the letters PR6. Who could have left it there? Then, from somewhere across the lake, a whisper drifted back to us. "Isla." For a brief moment, the fog parted and I thought I saw a figure standing just beyond the tree line. Then it was gone. That night, we circled the campfire and nibbled ginger biscuits from a cast iron pan, an uneasy silence pressing in on us. Each fire ringstone was etched with strange symbols, triangles, spirals, and characters we couldn't decipher. Sarah frowned. "This looks like an ancient tribal ritual," she murmured. Suddenly, sparks from the embers froze midair, like suspended crystals. Our eyes locked in terror as Emily whispered, "They're watching us." In the flickering glow, the shadows took on a life of their own, reaching toward us like dark, grasping hands. Without warning, a high-pitched scream sliced through the night. The tent fabric rippled, and the zipper began to unzip itself. We all bolted upright. The tent flap billowed open to reveal only swirling fog, but I could swear I saw shapes straining to get inside. "Run!" Ethan yelled. Our boots pounded on the gravel, hearts hammering. In the chaos, I lost Sarah's hand. Her scream echoed behind me. "Isla, why are you calling me?" I dared not look back. In my mind, I wondered if the spirit of Isla was real, or just a nightmare we'd invited in. By dawn's first light, we returned to the site. Everything looked undisturbed, tents intact, gear neatly arranged. Yet our footprints were gone, and the lantern glass was shattered on the ground. The only evidence of our ordeal was a single photograph we'd snapped at the fire. Sarah's pale face, frozen in terror, with a shadowy figure looming just behind her. On the back, scrawled in the same handwriting as the map note, "I'm waiting for you, Ethan." None of us ever spoke of that night again. The compass now points true north, but something inside me will never find its way home. If your heart raced with every twist and turn of this tale, don't forget to subscribe. We're aiming for 500 subscribers, and subscribing is free. Click the bell icon to join us for more chilling adventures and whispered secrets from the woods. Because at midnight, the forest starts speaking again. Hello, brave souls. Have you ever sat beneath a starless sky, gathered around a campfire whose golden flames seem to beat in time with your racing heart? Have you ever felt a pair of glowing eyes watching you from the darkness? Or heard a distant, muffled scream that felt less like a cry for help and more like an invitation? Tonight, I'm bringing you to the mist-shrouded, legend-steeped Redwood Hollow Camp. If you're ready, ask yourself, what secrets hide in the silhouettes drifting between the trees? Is every whisper you hear a friendly greeting, or a deadly trap? Type, "ready," in the comments to share your heartbeat with us. And don't forget, our channel is striving for 500 subscribers, and subscribing is completely free. Hit that button now so you never miss a single mystery. I'm Alex, a summer intern guiding this trip, and my group tonight includes Lara, Miguel, Zoe, and Ethan. We arrived just before dusk, beneath towering cedar giants. A thin veil of fog hovered over the ground, and with every footstep, the pine needles whispered crack, like secret warnings. As we pitched our tents, Lara leaned in and murmured, "I feel like something's watching us." Our flashlights stabbed into the mist, only to vanish and leave behind trembling halos of light. When we finally lit the campfire, the sparks shot upward as if saluting an unseen presence. The next morning, Miguel unfolded our map and froze. "None of these trail markers exist here," he said, voice tight with unease. I pulled out my compass, only to see its needle spin wildly before settling on south as if it refused to guide us north. Tucked into an old guide's journal we'd found was a single line. "Remember, Willow is waiting for you." A chill ran down my spine. Who was Willow, and why had she called us here? That afternoon, we trekked to the crystal-clear lake at the edge of camp to refill our canteens. The fog lay thick upon the water, and each rock beneath our feet was barely visible. As Zoe knelt to scoop up water, a sudden click echoed from the lake's center. She looked over her shoulder. "Alex, it sounds like something is tapping the surface." On our way back, we discovered a half-buried, rusted key inscribed with RH-23. What lock did it fit? Then, carried across the water, came a low voice. "Willow." For an instant, the fog parted and I thought I saw a tall, slender figure among the trees. Then it vanished. That night, we circled the fire. Ginger biscuits sizzled in a cast-iron pan as an uneasy silence settled over us. Each stone surrounding the flames bore carved runes, triangles, spirals, and symbols none of us could decipher. Ethan studied them closely. "These look like markings from an ancient ritual." Suddenly, sparks froze mid-air, hanging like crystalline droplets. In the wavering glow, I saw movement in the shadows, two hollow eyes peering at us from beyond the firelight. Without warning, Zoe's scream ripped through the night. The tent zipper began to open itself, and mist poured inside. "Run!" Lara shouted, and we bolted into the blackness. Our feet pounded against gravel, hearts hammering so loudly it drowned out everything else. In the chaos, I stumbled and lost sight of Lara. Her scream echoed behind me. "Why are you calling me, Willow?" I didn't look back. All I could think was whether Willow was a vengeful spirit, or something far worse. At first light, we returned to the campsite. Everything looked untouched, tents perfectly pitched, gear neatly stacked. Yet our footprints were gone, and the lantern's glass lay shattered. The only proof of that night's terror was a single photograph Zoe had taken, her pale face frozen in fear, and a shadowy figure looming behind her. On the back, someone had scratched, "I'm waiting for you, Alex." None of us spoke of that night again. The compass now points true north, but something inside me will never find its way home. As we drove away, we discovered the final entry in the guide's journal. Willow finds the lost in their dreams. To this day, every silent forest in my dreams is alive with whispers, and a name that won't let me go. If your heart raced with every twist of this tale, don't forget to subscribe. We're aiming for 500 subscribers, and subscribing is free. Hit the bell icon now to join us for more chilling adventures and secrets whispered by the woods. Because when midnight strikes, the forest speaks again. Have you ever felt, on a starless night, that something in the darkness was watching you as you stared into your campfire's flames? Is the wind's howl really just the wind, or does it carry a distant whisper? Have you ever wondered if the soothing silence of nature might actually be its most terrifying soundtrack? If your skin just crawled, you're in the right place. I'm Dylan, and I'm aiming for 500 subscribers on this channel, and subscribing is completely free. Tap subscribe now to join me on this journey. That morning, before the sun had even crested the horizon, I slung my backpack over my shoulder and, together with 3 close friends, arrived at Dark Lake Camp. We pitched our tents on a small clearing among the pines, right at the water's edge. The air smelled fresh. Birdsong and rustling leaves filled the air, yet I felt an unexplainable knot of unease in my chest. After we set up, we wandered down to the lake. Its surface was so smooth that the tree silhouettes looked like a living painting reflected back at us. At that moment, I noticed a thin veil of mist rising from the center of the lake, yet it didn't drift like ordinary mist. It quivered, as if breathing. That evening, we gathered around the campfire. I was staring at the lake when I spotted an old rucksack half buried in pine needles on the slope above us, and next to it, a tattered journal. Embossed on its cover was a single word: lost. Inside, the pages were chewed and nearly illegible, but one line jumped out at me. "The whisper from the depths will carve itself into your soul." At that exact moment, the flames flickered violently, and the shadows danced like living things. I showed the journal to my friends. Fute narrowed his eyes and said, "Someone camped here before, and they never came back." My heart pounded. All the while, the mist on the lake kept rippling, as if beckoning. Around midnight, I woke to the feel of our tent flap trembling. Peeking out, I saw a shadow gliding between the trees, vanishing where even moonlight dared not reach. My knees shook, but I forced myself to unzip the tent quietly. I stepped onto the path where moonbeams filtered through the pines. With every footstep came a sharp crack, like twigs snapping, though beneath my boots was only soft earth. As I approached the fog, a faint whisper drifted to my ears. "Find me." It sobbed, broken and distant. My mind flashed back to that journal line. "The whisper from the depths will carve itself into your soul." Frozen for a heartbeat, I summoned my courage. Who are you?" I called into the haze. Instead of an answer, the mist thickened, revealing streaks of reddish stains on the trunks of nearby trees, like years-old scars. Just then, I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Dylan? Where are you?" It was Alex, shining her flashlight in my face. I stumbled toward her, but stopped dead in my tracks. Emerging from the fog was a pale, translucent figure, its hollow eyes locked on me. In a hollow whisper it reached out. I was left behind, help me. Compassion and terror warred in my chest. I stepped back, and the ghost handed me a journal identical to the one I'd found. Panicked, I dropped it, and a fine gray dust drifted out, hovering in the beam of Alex's light. Alex screamed as she swung her flashlight around. For an instant the spirit froze, then dissolved back into the swirling mist. A distant moan followed us as we fled, hearts hammering, until we burst back into camp. I crawled into my tent and flipped on the lantern, but even in that safe circle of light, I felt those hollow eyes watching. The next morning, we found no journal, only that gray dust smeared in our footprints along the shore. When we touched it, our fingers darkened with an eerie residue that refused to wash off. Those marks stayed with us, reminders that some echoes of the past never fade. Now I turn it over to you, my brave listeners. Would you heed the whisper from the lake's depths? Was that lost soul asking for help, or luring us into its trap? Share your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Help me reach 500 subscribers. It's completely free, and just one click away. I'll see you at the next campfire tale. Have you ever felt the forest breathe around you, as if ancient trees themselves were watching? When the campfire's glow fades, do you dare listen to the silence, and what it hides? What would you do if you discovered you were not alone, but never truly alone? If those questions send a chill down your spine, you're in the right place. I'm Dylan, and I'm on a mission to reach 500 subscribers, and subscribing is completely free. Click that button now and join our shadow journey. My friends and I arrived at Redwood Canyon Camp just as dusk settled. Towering redwoods loomed like silent sentinels, their needles forming a dense canopy overhead. We'd heard rumors of an old hiking trail that vanished into the heart of the forest. No map, no markers, just whispers of campers who never returned. As we set up our tents in the clearing, I couldn't shake the feeling that the trees formed eyes. Hundreds of watchful orbs waiting for nightfall. Night deepened and the fire crackled. We told jokes, judged star patterns, and challenged each other to ghost stories. At exactly 2:17 a.m., my tent flap rustled. I peeked out empty. But I heard a single boot step crunch on the needles, then another, then silence. I nudged my friend Maya awake. Did you hear that? I whispered. Her flashlight beam cut through the darkness, but revealed nothing. The next morning, we followed an unmarked deer path deeper into the woods. Sunbeams pierced the canopy, making the air sparkle with motes of dust. After an hour, we stumbled upon a moss-covered cabin, its wood warped, its single window boarded from the inside. No footprints led in or out. Inside, we found a ledger. Dozens of names scratched over one another, the last entry dated July 14, 1978. Beside it lay a cracked photograph of smiling campers, eyes eerily blanked out with ink. That night, the ledger haunted my dreams. I thought I saw those inked-out eyes staring at me through the darkness. I woke to Maya shaking me. She pointed at the photo taped to our tent wall. The campers' faces were intact, except one figure, its eyes now filled with deep black ink. A cold breeze snuffed our lantern. In the pitch dark, laughter bubbled up, muffled, distant, but too many voices to count. On night 3, a stain appeared on the ground near our fire pit, a slick, dark red mist pooling in the pine needles. When I touched it, my fingertips stung, as though burnt. I pulled back, heart pounding. Behind me, a thin thread of red mist snaked past the tent, toward the forest. I fired up my phone camera to record it. Through the lens, I saw a tall shadow at the tree lean, swaying, and facing me. When I looked away and looked back, it had vanished. Compelled by dread and curiosity, I followed that ribbon of mist at dawn. It led to a hidden grove where sap dripped like tears from tree trunks, carving red rivulets down the bark. There, voices swirled around me. "Leave, stay, we're hungry," they hissed in chorus. My recorder filled with static-laced whispers, impossible to distinguish. I felt hands brush my shoulders, cold, insistent, but when I spun around I was alone. Back at our site, the others shivered at my descriptions. We agreed to leave at first light. That night, we built one last fire, stacking logs high. As the flames roared, the red mist seeped from the forest floor, swirling within the firelight. Suddenly, a shape burst from the woods, a figure in tattered camp clothes, eyes just dripping ink black. It lunged at us, but vanished the moment Maya screamed. Flames danced wildly as if alive. The entire clearing stank of iron. We bolted into our cars, leaving tents, logs, everything. In the rearview mirror, the red mist slid back into the trees. We returned home, shaken. The camera recorded nothing but empty forest. Our fingers still bear faint red stains that no soap can wash away. I can't explain what wanted us there, only that it's still hungry. Now it's your turn. Would you follow that red mist into the grove? What do you think those inked-out eyes were hiding? Have you ever experienced something the forest should have swallowed in silence? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Bell if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Let's hit that 500 subscriber milestone together. It's completely free, and your support means the world. I'll see you in the next chilling tale, if you dare. Have you ever heard a distant scream carried on the wind, and wondered if it was real, or just your imagination? What if the crackle in your campfire isn't wood burning, but something breathing? If the forest could speak, what dark secrets would it whisper to you tonight? If that sends shivers down your spine, you've come to the right place. I'm Dylan, and I'm on a quest to reach 500 subscribers, and subscribing is completely free. Hit that button now to join our terrifying campfire tales. We rolled into Thunderfall Campground late in the afternoon, our SUV's tires crunching over gravel that echoed through the valley. The sign at the entrance was rusted, the paint flaking off. "Welcome to Thunderfall, leave your fears behind." We chuckled at the ominous slogan and unloaded our gear, tents, lanterns, and enough food for a week. By twilight, our tents were pitched beside an old fire ring. Looking up, I noticed shards of colored glass embedded in the stone, blue, amber, and green, like the campfire was intended to glow from within. The camp host had warned us at check-in. Don't touch the glass. It's been here since, well, forever. That night, we gathered around the fire. The glass glowed eerily in the embers, casting fractured rainbows on the tree trunks. My friend Isaac decided to tell a ghost story, one passed down by locals. He spoke of a prospector who vanished near these pines, lured away by a singing light. He chased deeper into the woods. As he spoke, the wind picked up, and the pines began to sway, their needles rasping like whispered words. The hairs on my neck prickled. Suddenly, there was a clear voice above the rustle. "Help me." It sounded female, terrified, but no one spoke beside me. We froze, our eyes wide in the glow of the dying embers. At dawn, I wandered out to inspect the forest floor. Through the mist, I saw footprints circling our camp, boots prints half submerged in moss, as if someone had paced all night. But there were only 4 of us here, and none of us had left the tent after dark. I snapped photos, heart pounding. When I reviewed them on my camera, I noticed something else. In each shot, the broken glass in the fire ring seemed to shift, blue shards in one photo, amber in the next. It was impossible to keep up. That evening, we decided to follow the prints. They led up a narrow ravine, where the trees arched overhead like cathedral pillars. As we climbed, the air grew colder, our breath visible in ragged plumes. At the ravine's end stood a small log cabin, its door ajar. The windows were boarded up, but we could see inside, an old kerosene lamp on a table, its wick still smoldering. Pinned to the wall was a newspaper clipping dated October 17, 1923. Prospector goes missing at Thunderfall, search abandoned. On the table lay a pale handprint, pressed into a layer of dust, yet unnervingly fresh. I swallowed hard. We stepped inside. The lamp flared, then died. In the dark, I fumbled for my flashlight, only to find its battery drained. Maya's light flickered on and revealed scratched words above the fireplace. He waits beneath the glass. Back at our camp, that phrase haunted us. We lit the fire and stared into the burning glass pieces, searching for meaning. The colors fractured our faces, turning us into twisted specters. Isaac reached for a green shard, and the moment his skin touched it, he screamed as if scalded. He fell back, clutching his hand, where a welt bloomed. The glass had imprinted itself, tiny fractures mirroring his palm lines. Instinctively, he flung the shard into the flames. It hissed and vanished in a puff of smoke. Through the smoke, I saw movement, a tall figure at the tree lean, head tilted, watching. When the smoke cleared, it was gone. Determined to finish what the prospector started, we found a concealed trail behind the cabin that plunged into the mountain. The entrance to an old silver mine yawned before us, its wooden supports rotten but holding. Inside, my flashlight revealed rusted tools, collapsed carts, and walls streaked with mineral veins that caught the beam like veins of blood. Deeper we went, the air growing stale. Our footfalls echoed, and from far ahead came a soft tapping, like pickaxes striking rock. Tap, 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 then silence. At the mine's heart, we found it, a crystalline cavern, walls encrusted with the same colored glass. In the center lay a battered pickaxe, its head embedded in the floor. And above it, carved into glass, the words, "Release me." From the darkness came that desperate female cry again. "Help me, help me." It echoed, spinning around us. Maya stumbled backward, her flashlight panned upward, and we saw her, a gaunt woman specter, her eyes hollow, limbs blurred like smoke. She lifted a trembling hand, pointing at the pickaxe. A voice in my head screamed, "Pull it free." I grabbed the pickaxe and heaved. The walls trembled, glass shards rained down like a prism storm. With one final tug, the pickaxe came free, and the cavern erupted. Rocks slammed down, glass splintered, and a roar like centuries-old anguish tore through the mine. We fled, stumbling up the tunnel as the mountain seemed to collapse behind us. Bursting into daylight, we didn't stop until the cabin was a dot behind us. We piled into the SUV, hearts hammering, hands shaking. As we drove away, I looked in the rearview mirror. The cabin's window glowed with a single, captive shard of glass, blue, pulsing. Home feels hollow now. On my desk sits the pickaxe, its handle carved with the prospector's name, Elias Harrow. At night, I dream of that specter, reaching through the glass, begging for freedom. My hand still tingles when I touch the metal. I don't know if she's truly free, or if I've become her new prison. Your turn to decide. Would you have pulled that pickaxe free, or left well enough alone? What do you think Elias Harrow uncovered, and what did he unleash? Have you ever encountered something in the woods that refused to let you go? Share your experiences and theories in the comments below. Bell, don't forget, help me hit 500 subscribers. It's completely free, and your support keeps these stories alive. Subscribe now, And I'll see you at the next campfire, if you dare.